Hey guys, in set number 4, we're going to look at chapters 4 and 5. Now, these are both the sacrament prayers. Exactly how we say them today. Interesting, right? And have you actually ever studied these? Or do you just sort of just go to church and let them flow over you and, there you have it. So anyway, what I like about these is the phrase, we ask thee, Heavenly Father. We ask thee, in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. It's like we don't come demanding it. We come humbly to the sacrament table and give utter, huge thanks for the gift of the atonement and ask and renew our covenant every week that we go and do that. Now, it's not every week because we've got General Conference and we have State Conference. So there's at least 4 a year that we don't have. Every other week, you have an opportunity to attend a sacrament meeting and be able to partake of the sacrament. Now, during COVID lockdown, I was very grateful to be in a lockdown bubble house. We called them bubbles here in New Zealand. So because you don't bump into another bubble because of pop and you'll get infected. That was the theory. But I was in a lockdown with just me and Dave, and very grateful that he was a righteous priesthood holder so that he could, and we got permission to have the sacrament. And that first week, honestly, I cried so much. Because it was a scary, scary time, and I had a scary, we went into a lockdown on a Monday, midday. I'd just been at church the day before, and I was so glad I went and talked to a brother that I had this impression, go talk to him, and I did. And he died during COVID. I never saw him again. But anyway, that first week was really scary. It was different. We were wondering, is he going to get paid? Am I being paid? It was terrifying. Are we going to be able to, when do we go out again? Do we have enough food? How do we work that? The supermarket's open. They're not open to go shopping in, but you can order and pick up. I had a parcel arrive from China, and we literally left it on the front porch and threw sanitizer at it and left it for a week before we even touched it to open it, because there were so many unknowns, right? It was terrifying. It was a really scary time. I even went out for a walk around the block and took photos and made them look all sort of grainy and hard, and I put up a poster, meanwhile in District 12. District 13 or District 12, something like that, just in reference to the Hunger Games. And I was just it was okay. We're okay, and plenty of things to do at home. I had books to read and stuff to do, and it was hard not being able to go out though and just do the regular things. I know it's first world issues, I get that, but it was really concerning and so instantly a different way of life. And the panic attack I'd had on that Monday when I got shut in the supermarket and couldn't get out of the car park, and I went in just calmed myself in the cheese shop and tasted some cheese and bought some fancy cheese to eat during COVID, and then thought about, hang on, I better hit the bookstore as well before it closes and get some a jigsaw puzzle and some other thing, maybe a new game or something, or a book, panic buying, absolutely. But I was so grateful that we had a store cupboard that we had prepared and all that. But to have that sacrament prayer on that first Sunday, to set up my bench and to get things together, I have in my emergency pack a little sacrament set up anyway. But to be able to do that at home with just the two of us, I cried so much. And I don't think the sacrament prayers had ever hit me so hard about how we get to renew our covenants every week and how beautiful it is. So I'm not going to read it because I'll cry too much. But I really invite you to go and study them, both of them, in chapters 4 and chapter 5. Chapter 5 literally is 2 verses. It's now that we do the water, and here's the blessing on the water. Chapter 4 is 3 verses. This is the manner we do it, according to the commandments of Christ. Wherefore we know the manner to be true, and the elder or the priest administer it. So, you've got to hold the priesthood of that level to do it, which they do now. And they kneel down and they pray to the Father in the name of Christ, saying this. Go and study these prayers. Go and pull them apart and read them line by line and think about each word and what it means to you. It's so, so beautiful. It's covenantal. The sacrament prayers are intentional. they're covenant reminding, and they contain the basis of our relationship with Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ. And that's what I realized on that first Sunday in COVID lockdown. This is the basis of our relationship with Christ and Heavenly Father. And we get to renew that every week. Well, almost every week. And it was a hard time for those that couldn't go and get that. And then when we were able to go back to church and we gathered and everyone was really scared and masked up and there was social distancing and it was like so different. So different. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is just awful and scary, but it was quite a blessing for our ward that we had a doctor and a surgeon as a bishop who used his calming surgeon voice. You know, when they come in and they're all like, okay, so today we're going to do the operation and we're going to take out, both lungs and we're going to, take off one of them and then we're going to put another one back in. And, and you're sitting there going, okay, that calming voice, like they're doing a really scary thing and they have this calming voice that just, okay, I'll sign, like just, maybe it's the drugs they give you too. But he went on Facebook and told the whole ward, because that's where we were, everyone was still Facebooking then, and Messenger, like, come back to church, come back, it's safe, it's okay, this is what we're going to do, there's sanitizer, we're going to check the door, we've got social distancing, like, there'll be aisles blocked off, and he went in, like, somebody, or he, or whoever he organised, went in and literally, every third row you could sit in. Otherwise, no. And you had to stay away from people unless they were in your bubble. And wear masks and all that. And it was beautiful to go back and have that sacrament they did about, I think they had 15 trays for maybe 70 people. But what they did was they put it on the tray and it was all spread out so you could, not touch someone else's, like just to stop the contamination. And nobody got sick from that week, and then more people came back and we all talked about how lovely it was. But that first week back was nice to be back with my ward family, but also just to be back in a bit of normality. So again, I was reminded that is the basis of our relationship with Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ. So what part of the sacrament prayers do you like? Have you ever studied these? Because I hadn't. Knew them. I was like, yeah, I know them. Haha, yeah, I've got it. I hadn't really felt the words, and that was 2000 was the 2020. Sorry, was the first time I'd really felt the words, and that's like 4.5 years ago now that happened. So how can we more intentionally listen to these prayers and not simply skip through them? It's to remember to sit there and listen. Not just listen if it's the right wording, but listen for the words that mean something to you. Like, we ask thee really got me on that first week. We ask thee. Because of all the things we were asking at the time. It was such a simple thing to ask a blessing on some bread, to have it for sacrament. And what it meant. That we're always trying to keep his commandments. And we fail daily in many ways. And yet it's okay. Because we can just keep going. And to remember, like, through the water, the remember of Jesus Christ and what he did for us, that we can have a spirit to be with us. And again, do we live worthy of that? And do we call on that? Do we live to our privileges, Such a simple thing to think about. So how do we more intentionally listen to these prayers and not simply skip through them, We ask thee. Think about that. That's my favourite phrase. We ask thee. So, again, they're intentional, they're covenant reminding, and they contain the basis of our relationship with Jesus Christ and Heavenly Father. Let us know what you think. What's your favourite part? Let me know. Alright, hang on for number 6. Insight number 5, Moroni 6. I'll see you there.